and welcome to Your Trades with me, Ankur Mishra and Kavita Thapalyal. And Kavita, what a week it was.
Absolutely.
Third
Fantastic.
consecutive week where we are on the green footing. And more importantly, this week, absolute support coming in from Bank Nifty, up around 4 to 5% this week.
Absolutely. Thanks to PSU banks, that really saw almost a 5% up in this entire week. As far as the last trading session is concerned, we did see the closing and, the range-bound movement of the market, where on Friday, the closing was, the market, the Nifty was between 25,428 to 25,286 during the session. We did see a slip below 25,300. But having said that, and as Ankur also highlighted, the third consecutive week of advances, and it's not only the larger indices, but also the broader indices, which were much more stronger than their larger players. Talking about mid-cap or small-cap index, they closed almost 1.5% to 2% up this entire week. In terms of specific stocks and sectors, PSU Bank gained this week, mainly led by UCO Bank and BOB. Definitely, the index also registered its biggest weekly gain, since May 2025. So that is something remarkable. All the constituents of PSU Bank index were trading high this entire week. Talking about reality, up 5% this week. Advances for the third straight session, mainly led by Anantraj and Godrej Properties. Talking about other sectors like Nifty Energy, Auto, Pharma, Metal also advanced for the third consecutive week. IT, Nifty IT, this was the second straight week, mainly led by LTI, Mindtree and Emphasis, and FMCG is definitely in focus. 4 weeks gaining streak, mainly dragged by Emami and Britannia, the top sector, the top counters that were really driving this rally in FMCG. There were few indices or counters that closed in red. Otherwise, we have to really talk about Redington, the impact of iPhone sales that really took up the stock by 25% entire week, registered the biggest weekly gain since November 2024. Specific stock also has Anantraj and Poonawalla also in the list, up by 20% this week, and Poonawalla FinCorp also 14%. Ankur. So overall, a good week for the Indian markets, and yes, we had a lot of global sentiments also playing on the market. The US-India trade deal talks and a hopeful future of this conversation, and also the rate cut, which we had already anticipated. But yeah, we were good as compared to the other Asian players as well.
It was a week of good news, plus the biggest event is coming up next week.
Exactly, 22nd September. But then before that, let's prep our viewers in terms of their trade and strategies. We have Rajesh Palvia, Head Technical Derivative Research at Axis Securities, and we also have Sudeep Bandyopadhyay, Group Chairman, IndiTrade Capital. Hi, good evening to both of you, and welcome to Your Trade. So Sudeep, let's get your view on this fantabulous week. Can we really call it fantabulous? Should we be cheering the levels and important support levels beyond which where we see the Nifty going?
After quite a period of lull and negative news flow, we had consecutive 3 weeks of upswing, and I think that is definitely good for the market. A bit of consolidation today also is good. After the market had run up quite a bit of consolidation is good for the health of the market. So I think we can't take away from anything from this good streak of the market. Having said that, I think there are many other events which are lined up. Of course, US Fed has already reduced rates, and there are indication of more rate cuts. That's good news. There are talks about some kind of resolution between India and US on the tariff front. That's again good for the market. Of course, the big event, 22nd, when the new GST regime kicks in, I think things should start moving, because consumption and purchases of consumer durables, automobiles, etc. had slowed down definitely, waiting for the new GST rates to kick in. Now that along coincides with the Navratri. So I think we will see an upsurge in sales. And I'll be very keenly watching the September sales numbers once the companies start declaring it in the first week of October. So overall, I think we are at a good position as far as market is concerned. Let's wait and watch how things unfold from Monday onwards.
Definitely, that we will keep an eye on. I want to understand from you, Rajesh, now we have already hit 25,400 this week as far as Nifty is concerned. Do you think even next week, and then I'm saying 4th week in a row, do you think we will be ending in green when I talk to you next week?
Looking at the broader market and the market breadth, we believe that yes, there is a possibility that we may end another week in the green trajectory, and maybe it could be a fourth week in a row where Nifty may gain momentum. As Nifty is almost trading around 24,400, 500 zone, which is important supply zone. As if we analyze on the derivative data, also the major call writer are still holding the positions around 24, 25, 400, 25, 500 strikes. Though some unwinding action has been visible in the last couple of days from these strike, but still any move beyond 25,450, 500 zone can attract short covering action, and then Nifty can scale up to the next level of 25,750. That's the target we are projecting for Nifty in the continuation of this up move. As the major put base concentration is inching higher, now major put base concentration is placed at 25,300 zone. PCR ratio is also below 1, which is also in comfort zone. India VIX is also at the lowest point. Uh, all the sectors except FMCG closed in a green for this week. Almost 3.5%, more than 3.5% gain for this month. So I think this September expiry is going to be on the bullish side, and possible really can extend beyond 25,500 in the continuation of this up move. So we are holding a long trade with stop loss of 25,250. On the higher side, we are projecting target of 25,550 to 25,700 for this series.
All right. One question to you on those lines. 26,000, how far? Rajesh.
So could be if the numbers which everybody is expecting, that there is a demand boost is going to happen
Right.
for this once this GST is going to rolled out. So I think maybe by Diwali we can aim for 26,000 also, because the sentiment has changed now. If we look at the broader market, I think mid cap, small cap basket is clearly showing that sentiment has changed, and buyers confidence is coming back on the street. So maybe it could be like by Diwali we could see 26,000 level also. So 25,200 needs to watch closely. And again, in this rally, bank Nifty is also contributing, and most of the PSU bank as well as the large cap private banks are also showing good traction. And the sector like IT, metal, chemical basket, real estate, all these sectors are showing good traction. So we believe that yes, could be possible 26,000 by Diwali.
All right, so 26,000 by Diwali is the prediction coming in from Rajesh, meaning we will be hitting September 2024 highs very soon. I want to get your views, Sudeep, on this front. Now, next week, GST rate rationalization will come into effect. Keeping that theory in mind and that event in mind, what should investors do? Do you think there is still some meat in the consumption theme?
Unfortunately, I don't think. I think, the GST cut related benefits have already been factored in by the market, and the prices have already moved up. So I don't think I will try to play the GST rationalization trade any longer. I will be selective. There are pockets where there are opportunities. I will rather seize that. Simply going for the beneficiaries of GST rationalization wouldn't do for the time being. That's what my belief is. Also remember that second quarter numbers will not be anything great. From October beginning, these numbers will start coming, and by the time we hit Diwali, lot of results would have come already. And we don't believe that results will be anything great or much better than Q1. In fact, there may be a dip because there was a period between the announcement and 22nd of September when the new rates kick in, where things had slowed down quite a bit. Naturally, of course, I don't think that will be a problem in the long run or even in the third quarter, fourth quarter. But second quarter, we will have a little bit of impact of that. So I'm positive on the market generally. And I also kind of agree with Rajesh's view that we will see excitement around Diwali time. I'm not sure whether there is still opportunity of playing the GST cut theme.
Does that also mean that you won't be looking at the sales numbers? You are excited about the GST tax slabs and the rationalizations hitting in, but also because we're talking about the earnings season as well. You know, a lot of experts, Sudeep, are not talking about FY26 anymore. As you also said that, you know, the numbers second quarter won't be so enthusiastic. Experts are now talking about 2027. That's the thing in mind now, and the theme that's playing is definitely consumption, which seems to be driving the growth in that particular financial year. Do you second this thought? What would be your opinion?
Well, I kind of agree, but I won't look at 27. I think, we have to check what's happening in Q3 and Q4. I think this is very good, very, very crucial because the numbers, if they have to pick up, they will pick up now. Everything, whatever had to be done by the government has been done as far as consumer is concerned. You had the income tax relief given to the consumers. You had a decent monsoon. You had rural income going up. You had the inflation, which is, remarkably down. And on top of that, you have this GST rationalization, which definitely benefits the consumer. Now, after that, if the numbers don't pick up or if there are any challenges, then we have to understand that the problems are deep rooted. I don't think that's going to be the case. So we will be watching the numbers very, very carefully, from next month onwards. Of course, when the September numbers are announced, a lot of companies, I'm sure, will give pre-GST rationalization, post-GST rationalization sales figure, and that will be an insight into the numbers. And of course, the October, November numbers will be very, very revealing.
Right, Sudeep, point taken. Rajesh, I want to understand from you, there has been a lot of churning and sector-wise rotation has happened. First, we saw FMCG going up, then banks participated. For next few weeks or specifically for next week, which sector you think is next?
So I think sector rotation is a good sign for market as wherever attractive price points are available, traders, investors are shifting their positions. So it's a good sign for the healthy market, and we believe that the kind of sector rotation which is happening, we believe that a sector like banking and financial is likely to perform in the coming week. Especially PSU banks are well positioned, and most of the PSU banks have managed to give breakout on the near term structure, as well as the sector leader SBI is also showing sign of strength. So I think PSU bank could be one basket where one can focus. Again, NBFC, from NBFC, Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Finserv, these all stocks are also, L&T Finance, all these stocks are showing sign of strength. So banking and financial would be one sector where one can focus. And another sector where we are focusing, that is, power. And power space is also, showing sign of accumulation activity to some of the stocks like, NHPC, Tata Power, Suzlon, all these stocks are also showing sign of, strength. So here also one can focus for coming week. And third sector where we believe that, could get some traction in terms of buying would be chemical basket. A lot of accumulation activities already done in most of the chemical space. So I think one can focus on Tata Chemical, SRF, Navin Fluorine, all these stocks can be looked at for coming week. Here we may see some traction on the buying side.
All right, now let's also help our viewers understand your strategies and trade picks for the next week. Rajesh, anything on radar specifically that you might want to recommend?
So I think, as I mentioned, power, we are bullish. So Suzlon Energy managed to give breakout of its falling trend line on weekly chart, and the long built up is clearly there on the data. So we believe that Suzlon Energy can contribute further more upside, and possible target towards 66 we may see in the near term perspective. So one can buy with stop loss of 58. Another stock is Bharat Forge. This is the third consecutive week where stock is making higher high-low formation. Long build-up is there for this series. Looking at the overall structure, we believe that Bharat Forge has potential to cross its previous swing high. So we are projecting target of 1315 to 1325. On the downside, one needs to keep stop loss towards 1245.
All right, so those are the recommendations coming in by Rajesh. Sudeep, from your side, you mentioned that consumption theme is specifically for GST related things. There is not much meat there. But which are the sectors, according to you, one can still pencil in?
Well, I think I've been positive on cement for quite some time. Of course, there has been a GST benefit there as well. So somebody looking at a long term definitely should look into cement. We have been liking Ultratech for quite some time. We believe that Ultratech still has opportunity of accumulation from a long term perspective. We do like construction, infrastructure, and this related areas. And the leader of the pack, Larsen Toubro, definitely deserves to be in a long-term portfolio. So even at current valuation, Larsen does look good from a long-term perspective. They're big beneficiaries of this entire capital expenditure by the government, as well as the capital expenditure which is happening in West Asia. They are gaining orders, significantly. The order book is now almost 50-50 domestic and international. And because international orders are at a higher margin, overall margin profile is improving. So Larsen definitely from a long-term perspective. Apart from that, there are opportunities in select pockets. And I would definitely look at auto ancillaries, particularly the ancillary companies which are which are catering to both IC as well as EV engines. They are completely flexible, and whatever happens between these two technologies, I think they are well positioned. So one should look at some of these auto ancillary companies, which not only are present in India, but they have global presence as well.
Sure. So, Deep, also this is a time where a lot of investors and our viewers would want to rejig their portfolio or maybe just re-strategize their trading and investment calls. Now, although we've spoken about your sectors in focus, sectors and counters where you would want to give an exit call, what would that be?
Well, I think, large cap IT is one space where one needs to be cautious. I'm not saying exit call, but if you are having a short-term horizon, I think it's better to come out of that, because I don't think anything radical or anything significant is going to happen as far as large cap IT is concerned. They will continue to give decent returns over a long period of time, but nothing spectacular, nothing market beating. So that's one space where one needs to be cautious. The second space where I think one needs to be a little cautious is the real estate. I think it has run up quite a bit. And again, I'm not saying fundamentally there is any problem. It will continue to do well, but because the run up has been significant, I think the scope for appreciation in the short term is limited. That's what our belief is. The third segment where one needs to be a little cautious is the overall metal space. While we do like metals from a long-term perspective, but short, medium term, I think it has run up quite a bit, and the scope for significant appreciation in short, medium term is limited.
All right, Sudeep and Rajesh, thank you so much for your views, and investors, I guess, will definitely keep in mind for the next week. But with this, my colleague Snehi is ready, who tell you every week it is not about just what has happened to this week, but which are the events, which are the cues which are there for next week, and which investors and stakeholders should watch. Snehi, over to you.
Well, yes, lots of cues to watch out for in next week's trade. Let's start by looking at action expected back home. 22nd September, all eyes are going to be on a whole host of sectors like autos, FMCG, insurance, tire stocks that could be in focus once again, as the GST rate rationalization will be put into implementation. And it's also going to be the first full day of trade where we see the index rejig impact of the FTSE All Cap All World Index. So watch out for that as well. Other than that, over the course of the week, we have manufacturing as well as services PMI numbers. The Nifty, the monthly Sensex expiry, the weekly Nifty expiry, as well as Forex reserve data that will be in. Globally, from the US, you have PMI numbers, PCE price index, which is the Fed's preferred gauge of inflation, will be out on the 26th. From the UK, you have PMI, GDP, as well as jobless claims numbers, Eurozone consumer confidence, PMI, as well as that inflation expectations. From China, loan prime rates numbers on September 22nd. Japan is going to be a truncated week since 23rd is a market holiday for them. But PMI, the minutes of their July meeting, and Tokyo CPI is some important metrics will be tracking from Japan as well. In terms of corporate action and board meetings, ESOP Small Finance Bank board is going to be mulling fundraising, so on the 20th, so watch out for that. Adani Power will be trading X stock split in the ratio 1:5 on the 22nd. Same day, Sandur Manganese will be trading X bonus in the ratio 2:1, and TVS Holdings board is going to be mulling a bonus issue along with the Q1 earnings of Vikran Engineering. On the flip side, you have Sudarshan Chemicals Q1 earnings on September 22nd. 23. Pidilite will be trading ex-bonus in the ratio 1:1. On September 26, you have Nazara Technologies to trade ex-bonus in the ratio 1:1 and ex-stock split in the ratio 2:1 as well. Now, in terms of some other stocks that will be in focus, you'll have a whole host of stocks like Premier Exclusives, Suntech Explosives, Suntech Realty, Guj Fluorochem, BEML, National Fertilizers, and a whole host of stocks that will be trading ex-dividend next week. So watch out for them as well. On the AGM's front, Star Health, ABFRL, Campus Activewear, Dixon, you have Capri Global, Nalco, Inox Wind, Poly Medicure, Gujarat Gas, Hindustan Copper, Lemon Tree, and a whole host of stocks that will be holding their AGMs as well. These companies will be in focus. In terms of the primary markets, 9 IPOs opening, 9 IPOs closing, and 5 IPOs listing on D Street over the course of next week. So lots of exuberance expected on the primary market front as well. And lastly, in terms of some other events, you'll have Donald Trump will be attending the funeral of Charlie Kirk. You have a whole list of comments coming in from Fed officials as well as Bank of England officials as well. The OECD will be releasing its interim economic outlook report for the global economy too. So watch out for all of these cues in next week's trade. It is indeed going to be a very busy week for all of us.
All right, thank you so much, Snehi. And those were the cues for the next week. But that's it on your trades today. Thank you so much for watching. And Ankur will be seeing you with a new show now next.
Yes, News Now next. Do tune in.